What's up, my PT peeps? Brian back to talk about the Walking Dead discussion. Will Carl step up against Negan? Spoiler warning, if you're not up to date on the Walking Dead, we're talking about season 7, comic book stuff about Carl and what we might get in season 7. So spoiler warning if you don't want to know. So basically, if you watch the season 7 premiere, at the end of it, it's heartbreaking. It's terrible to watch. But Maggie says, get ready to fight them. And the next scene is it goes right to Carl. And that has to be either get ready to go fight them, and then boom, right to Carl. And that has to show that Carl is going to step up and be part of the attack against Negan, because Rick's going to be a broken man. He's going to feel like he has to do something about it because Carl has something to prove. You know, he's a teenager in the apocalypse. He's trying to step up and be a big asset to the group, and his dad needs him and everything there too. She also goes with Maggie to help get Glenn into the hilltop and just helps the group in there too. And you can see it's a nice gesture on there too. And Carl hopefully has a big storyline coming up, because we'll talk about in the comics. But it's a nice connection because she was there for him, so he was there for her, and that's a nice touch where it comes around full circle. You know, everything gets a return. So he needs to step it up and be there for Maggie going forward, because she helped him out with Lori there too. So let's talk about the comic book Carl. Basically, he has a big storyline coming up with Negan if they stick to the comics. So spoilers about the comic. So basically, Negan comes to Alexandria and he goes and gets basically the truck, and Carl stows away in the truck when he returns back to the sanctuary. There he is right there underneath some mattresses. And Negan looks to be probably coming to Alexandria in episode 4. So will this happen in episode 4? Does he stow away? We'll see what happens. And then he shoots a bunch of saviors, gets all crazy, the machine gun kills a bunch of things. Negan, for some reason, keeps Carl alive. He does not stop the saviors, or he does not have the saviors kill Carl. And so we'll see if that happens on the show, and it's rumored that it will. You don't know if his storyline is going to get broken up by Daryl, who is a prisoner at the sanctuary, so it might be, some of the story might get broken up that way too. You know, Negan keeps Carl alive, he takes him around, he shows him a couple things. That's after the iron scene. You can see the guy smoking there on the side of the face. But he kind of has this weird connection with Carl, and it's definitely a good storyline that I hope Chandler Riggs gets a chance to get, because I do like Chandler Riggs. I think he's a pretty good actor, a pretty good guy. He's coming around. He's been on the show for 6 years, so he's hopefully getting the part for there too. And Carl is so tiny here too. And this is when Negan brings Carl, you know, there. Don't want to give too much away, but we'll talk about it, where he goes there and then basically Negan brings Carl back to Alexandria and whatever. But, you know, basically the storyline is, do you think Carl will step up against Negan? Do you think he will eventually be, you know, an adversary to him? Does he fight him against him? Does he go against here? You know, he shoots Lucille. You know, he kind of goes against Negan there too. I think Carl needs to step up in season 7 into season 8 going forward on there too. I think the storyline with him and Negan needs to play out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, definitely do a little more research. I don't want to give all of it away, but what do you think? That's Carl in the Whisperer War 161. Can't wait for, you know, 160 to come out, but that is tomorrow, you know, November 2nd. That's Carl and Michonne at Walker Stalker Atlanta that just ended. And there you go. And what do you think, guys? Do you think Carl steps it up? Do they give him the storyline with Negan? I think it will happen. I think Carl and Chandler Riggs need to have the ability and the chance to act a little bit more in there too. He's seldomly getting better and better on there too, and I think they'll give it to him. Hopefully they do. And that's the cast photo there too. Great picture there, guys. So like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to get more videos, guys. Thank you for watching as always. You guys are awesome, and we need Coral Reef. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome.